Welcome to this explainer. Did you know that the difference between an A and a B on the Cambridge Computer Science and Information Technology exams rarely comes down to rote memorization? It actually comes down to how systematically you apply what you know. Think of yourself as an astronomer. In the vast, sometimes intimidating universe of Cambridge exams, you can't just wander aimlessly. You need to navigate by the stars. And in this context, those stars are the key command words and strict structural frameworks that examiners are literally begging you to use. Whether you are tackling syllabus code 0417, 0478, 2210, 9618, or right here with us in 9626, charting your course correctly is the only way to guarantee top marks. Today, we are acting as your senior examiner to reveal the hidden rules of the Cambridge ecosystem, specifically zeroing in on Topic 6.1, Groups Affected. We're going to dive incredibly deep into accessibility barriers and the crucial testable distinctions between industrially developed and developing nations. This topic is absolutely essential because it forms the theoretical foundation for so many complex scenario-based exam questions. We are going to transform your passive reading into active exam mastery.
Here is our roadmap to completely transform your knowledge into a top-tier grade. We've structured this into 5 critical acts. First, the IT exam challenge, where we'll look at how things go wrong. Then, core principles and pitfalls. Third, we'll reveal our technical methodology strategy. This is where the magic happens. Fourth, we'll do an interactive breakdown in analyzing flawed answers. And finally, we will wrap up with the evaluation blueprint to push you into those highest grade boundaries. Let's get started.
Act 1. The IT Exam Challenge. Let's set the stage and look at exactly what happens in the pressure cooker of the exam hall.
Picture this. You're sitting in the exam hall. The clock is relentlessly ticking down. You are faced with a complex scenario discussing accessibility barriers to technology in a developing nation. How do you tackle it? Let's look at 2 typical candidate profiles, Alex and Sam. First, we have Alex. Alex is what examiners call a knowledge dumper. Alex looks at the question and completely panics, overloading the page with raw computer science facts, networking protocols, and textbook definitions about economic barriers. But here is the fatal flaw. Alex provides absolutely no context or analysis related to the specific scenario in the prompt. If the prompt is about implementing a rural medical clinic's database, Alex is writing about high school Wi-Fi networks. Then we have Sam. Now, Sam actually has brilliant ideas and accurately grasps the scenario, but Sam rushes the execution, completely ignoring the command word requirements, proper formatting, and presentation expected at the Cambridge standard. So what happens? The examiner's red pen comes out. Both of these students clearly possess the subject knowledge, but both literally throw away crucial easy marks because of their flawed structural approach.
Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, moving into Act 2, Core Principles and Pitfalls. Let's uncover the strategy that prevents you from making Alex and Sam's mistakes.
According to the principal examiner reports, the ultimate red alert is that candidates consistently confuse key terminology. You absolutely cannot effectively discuss the digital divide if you cannot accurately define the groups affected by it. To do this, top students structure their computer science answers using the PEAL framework. That stands for point, evidence, explanation, and link. The rule here is simple. You must make your point by defining these terms precisely before using them in extended responses. For example, when providing evidence about infrastructural barriers, top-tier candidates don't just lazily say a country has bad internet. No, they specifically explain how inconsistent power grids in sub-Saharan Africa directly limit server uptime, and then they link that specifically back to the fiber optic broadband networks typical of industrialized developed nations. The specific, measurable distinctions between these environments are your foundation. Building directly on those examiner reports, we have isolated 3 fatal flaws that drain marks away from otherwise brilliant students. First, forgetting to include proper format in your responses. Second, failing to double-check that format and presentation before you rush on to the next question. And third, exactly like our hypothetical student Alex did, writing answers completely disconnected from the context provided. Listen, examiners are testing your application skills, not your ability to memorize a glossary. If you memorize a textbook definition but fail to apply it directly to the data table or case study provided in the exam paper, you are leaving points on the table. It's that simple.
Welcome to Act 3, the Technical Methodology Strategy.
This is where we initiate the transformation from those red pen marks into brilliant green check marks. To completely avoid those pitfalls, you need a highly systematic approach. You can't just hope for the best when that exam timer is counting down. This is the exact 5-step procedural framework you must follow to secure what examiners call method marks. First, deconstruct the question. This means navigating by those stars. Decode the specific command words like evaluate versus describe. Second, extract relevant data directly from the text or tables provided. Pull the actual numbers. Third, select your analytical framework, like the Peel method we just talked about. Fourth, execute with clear notation, drawing evidence-based conclusions from the data you extracted. And fifth, present your final answer using the correct Cambridge IT terminology. Following this exact sequence ensures that the examiner can clearly track your logical reasoning step by step.
Now here's his secret weapon for bumping up your grade, and it's what truly separates the top percentile from the rest: cross-topic connections. The theoretical architecture of the Cambridge Computer Science and IT exams demands integration. Examiners explicitly note that candidates who reference cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. This means you must show how the concepts in Topic 6.1 connect to other areas of your syllabus. For instance, if you're discussing the economic barriers a developing nation faces in adopting cloud infrastructure, you absolutely must connect that to the network requirements and data security principles from other chapters. Nothing in computer science exists in a vacuum. It's all one giant interconnected web.
Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. All right, let's get into Act 4, an interactive workshop where we analyze flawed candidate answers. Let's treat this like a live workshop. I want you to look at this complex data table. Imagine a 60-second visual countdown timer on your screen right now. Your first challenge is a data scan. Can you extract the core trend here? Now let's apply our strict procedural framework to turn those earlier red pen marks into green check marks. Let's do a find the flaw challenge. Look at Alex's list of raw facts. Where is the lost mark? Right there in the middle. It completely fails to apply the specific context. The immediate mark-winning correction is taking those exact same facts and directly linking them to the data table provided in the prompt, proving that the knowledge solves the specific scenario. Meanwhile, Sam's unformatted text block lost marks for lacking headings and clear annotation. The instant correction? Structuring that data with proper headings. By comparing these flawed approaches against the ideal framework, we can see exactly where an answer bleeds marks and how to instantly fix it. Now, for challenge number 3, speed writing. Imagine you have exactly 30 seconds to write one perfect Peel paragraph in your head based on these strict presentation conventions: proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation. It is absolutely critical to understand that presentation is not optional in this syllabus. It is a core principle of how your knowledge is evaluated. Interpreting complex relationships between developed and developing nations and drawing evidence-based conclusions from those relationships is only half the battle. Delivering that complex information clearly using these exact strict conventions is what actually forces the examiner to award you the marks. We have finally reached Act 5, the final system and the evaluation blueprint. This is the cheat sheet recap that brings your mark potential all the way to 100%. To shift out of standard passing grades and hit the absolute highest order cognitive domains, we look directly to this gold standard objective from Cambridge. It reads, top-scoring candidates demonstrate evaluative thinking by questioning assumptions, considering different perspectives, and justifying decisions with evidence. Reaching the analytical and evaluative levels means you cannot just describe a technology gap between a developed and developing nation. You have to evaluate the quality of the evidence provided in the exam. For instance, if a case study proposes a massive rural Wi-Fi rollout to solve an accessibility barrier, an evaluative thinker questions the underlying assumptions. Who will maintain the hardware? Is there reliable electricity to power the routers? You must identify limitations in the data, consider alternative interpretations, and explain how all of that affects your final, justified conclusion. That is true evaluative thinking. So, we arrive at the ultimate question for your exam preparation. Will you simply memorize facts like our hypothetical student Alex, or will you actively use this 3-rule system: command word decoding, Peel framework application, and strict time management to critically evaluate evidence and master your Cambridge exams? Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to at acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here.